Hey everyone, we're rapidly approaching the end game for these Cage 1 explorations, and today we have Atlantica, the infamous underwater world. So settle down and prepare to have Under the Sea stuck in your head, and let's go. Okay, we're starting out in the tranquil grotto. We can see Donald struggling to swim to me there behind. Sorry Donald. And yeah, this is the first place you end up in the world when you first come here. And it's a nice peaceful little bit. There's no enemies here, which is nice. And we can see the general swimming mechanics, of course. This is one of the major things with this world. Everyone knows about the mechanics. If we look at the wall here, we can see this effect going on with the sort of shifty effect going on. It's what I said in the Agrabah video, basically, but this time it's kind of bluish and obviously meant for underwater to give that illusion of being underwater. And up here we have the bright sunlight coming through from the surface, so that's quite cool. Down here we can see a texture of plants and corals. And I personally don't find the mechanics too bad, although they are a little bit awkward, obviously. They're not as good. I think Cage 3 is better. Cage 3 swimming mechanics. These are serviceable. It's better once you get Dolphin Kick though, definitely. But if we look through here, we can see a little hole that leads to the Undersea Valley, which is our big area of this world, the main big area. And we've got these little things shooting out bubbles into the sea, I guess. I guess they're kind of like those volcanic vents. Yeah, they're probably kind of like that sort of thing, aren't they? But yeah, I don't mind the mechanics. I think they're okay. They're a bit slow, especially fighting Heartless, so there's definitely, I can see why people have problems with them. And here we have the big Undersea Valley area. Lots of little connecting bits to here, lots of different ways to go. Actually, a little bit confusing until you sort of get more familiar with it. Oh, and here's the dolphin. Here's a little bit of trivia about this dolphin. It's weird looking. You may notice that its tail is flipped the wrong way around. The tail isn't supposed to look like that on a dolphin. And it's not like that in the film, because there is a dolphin in the Under the Sea song in the film. But in the film it's anatomically correct, unlike here. So I don't know what happened with that. That might just be a mistake or whatever. But yeah, in the film actually there's another bit of trivia. The dolphin was originally supposed to be its own character called Breaker, and that got scrapped and most of that sort of role went to Flounder instead. So there's a bit of trivia for the film too. Okay, let's have a look around this place, I guess. So we can see these shells everywhere. Some of them you need magic to open depending on which colour they are. That's pretty simple. Some of them are just pink, so you just hit them. And they're the alternative to chests. And I think, well, there are a few chests here actually that you can get. But I think chests underwater wouldn't have been a bad thing. But it is nice to have a unique mechanic for here, I guess. And we have lots of little nooks and crevices that you can go into here, as you'd expect from an underwater sort of trench area. And what I like, up here, I'm not sure I've actually got this. I'll show you when I go outside of it again. Yeah, no, I don't have this yet. See how easy it is to miss? So have a look at this when we come out of here. We have to go down, and this can kind of be obscured to you if you're not looking at it at the right angle. But it's so... that's exactly what you'd see under the ocean. Like, that's just such a cool little area to just hide away like that. I really like that. But I guess we can go into the calm depths. I want to show you this little area first. Okay, so down here we have just a little passageway, a little tunnel that you can actually reach. There's actually a couple of ways here, so that's where we came from. And over here is the calm depths. For some reason they're called calm depths when they're actually very not calm. They don't look calm at all, do they? But we can actually go up here. There's another little tunnel. And this will actually wind around back out to the valley. For some reason it says Undersea Trench when you come out of this one. I don't know why, it's just one of those errors. But it's called Undersea Valley. And we come out in a different part of the Undersea Valley. And here we can see another tunnel leading off. But I really like that there's that little route. Do you need to take it? Not really. But it's quite a cool piece of design. It definitely works for the ocean setting, and I like the twistiness of it. It can be confusing the first time you're here, or to be honest, it can be confusing even replaying the game. But I think once you actually explore without any other intention, you're just exploring and getting a feel for it, then it will click for you like it did for me, and you'll be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And we can even wind our way around this tunnel. It doesn't lead us to any different rooms, but it's just there. It's just there to make it seem more like a sort of rocky, cavey ocean floor, which I think is pretty cool. A lot of the rest of this is just kind of set dressing, just rocks placed about and plants and things. And up here, but that's as high as we can go, unfortunately, with the roof. And down there we can see a part of the calm depths that actually shoots us back out. So let's go down there and actually go into the calm depths. I don't think there's much more to see in the valley. So here is where obviously we need the dolphin to be able to get to certain areas at first. But once you have dolphin kick, it's fine, you just do it yourself. So if we just launch all the way out, we'll just end up spat out here, basically. So that's just boring. That's if you fail, basically. That's your punishment. So let's go back in and look at another route. And of course, we can swim and then quickly change direction down into here, and we get to this big area of the calm depths. Also the place you visit in the end of the world. There's an annoying aqua tank here, but it's okay. And we can shoot up back out to the Undersea Valley, another way you can get out. And some of you may know there's something there I haven't done, but don't worry, I'll come back and do that. But for now, we'll just go to the Undersea Cave. So this is going to take us more towards the palace, and as we can see, there's Triton symbols showing us the way to go. So it's nice they did include some things. They knew it probably was going to be a bit confusing, so they actually added some markers, which they don't do for most of KH1. And there's not much really here other than the mushrooms, so we can just swim up to here into the gorge. Okay, the Undersea Gorge, make sure you don't get it confused with Valley. This one's smaller and less complicated, basically. We have a blizzard shell here you can open. Oh, I wish I could. Imagine if you could squeeze through that crevice. That would be a bit claustrophobic feeling, actually. And that seems to be the max height here, so... yeah, not a lot to say, really. Again, in a way, it's sort of similar to Monstro. There's not a lot of details because we are under the sea. It's mostly just stuff you'd see under the sea. There's not really a lot. But we can swim into here, the Undersea Garden. This is a little secret area you don't even have to go to. It's in a cutscene. And I think the thing at the bottom there is what Ariel's sitting on in the Under the Sea song. And it's got a really cool ceiling, I guess, with the light coming through. It looks really nice in here. But not a whole lot to look at, so we go back out. And I'm just kind of swimming around just to show the general shape of this place. Just to show off some of the little bits and bobs you can see around. But let's go into the grotto. Alright, Ariel's grotto. This is obviously one of the places with the most amount of stuff in it, because it's got a lot of human objects, of course. And we have these barrels. We can destroy these. We have a globe here, the same one that you can see in Tarzan, as you can see. A little interactable clock with the pendulum swinging. That's quite nice. And some cutlery and this chest of things. And we have this nice little music maker statue doll thing. And you can destroy these barrels, and actually sometimes you get something out of them. So that's kind of neat. I actually kind of forgot that until I destroyed this one. There we have the base for the Trident emblem that gets destroyed by Triton. And if we go all the way up, we can see at the top of her pool, at the surface, there's these assets they've placed there just to make it look like there is a surface. But we can see there's nothing else out there. It'd be quite interesting to see the top of this area, actually. But down here we have all sorts of little objects you can interact with. There are actually some chests you can get here, like actual chests. I think that's quite cool. Does seem a bit like stealing though, and Sora's taking them from Ariel's grotto. But all sorts of nice little details. I'm sure this is accurate to the film, or pretty accurate anyway. I'm sure if you compared them side by side, you could be like, ah yeah, these things are the same. Alright, I just want to show off this little thing. So there's usually a big old chest here, and if you come from underside it, you can blow it off and create this shortcut. I've already created it, but as you can see, it actually leads to the Sunken Ship. So I'll show that from the other side, obviously, when we get to there. Here's the entryway to the palace, and I gotta say, this area is so cool. Like, we've gone from pretty bland looking areas, basically, right? Just sort of rocks and things. And then we have this like fantastical, magical looking place. We can see the main palace back there, and the light and the sun rays coming down. And we have all this structure and random little pieces. Like these glowy things, what are they? I don't know, but they're cool. And this path that kind of exists, even though it doesn't need to, because everyone swims. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of look around here. There's not too much I need to really say. Although, looking out there at the abyss, that's a little bit scary. Never really looked at that before, but it's very dark out there. And there's usually a white trinity here. We can get a good look at the palace from this side. And yeah, it's pretty cool, you know, you can tell it's just a little kind of 2D backdrop just placed there when you properly look at it. But I think for the time this game came out in, it was fine. It's well made, you know, it's nicely drawn. And inside the palace, unfortunately, we can only really see this throne room. We can't see anything else. Maybe it would have been nice if we could be like right underneath it. Oh, I'm just thinking now, imagine if we had more technology, like today's technology, and you could actually swim around that whole palace area. Oh, I should not have thought of that, because that'd be so cool. But in here itself, not a lot to look at again. We've got these pillars and their design, and the weird throne that Triton's on. The save point here, of course. And once again, above us, we have a shaft of light coming in. Okay, we've headed back to the calm depths, and it's time to show that thing that I skipped past earlier. The urchin that you can get here. More people probably know about the urchin in Ursula's lair, but this one exists as well, and you can destroy it, and it creates another little shortcut. It's just another way to get out to the Undersea Valley, like see. But it is a way to get back in there, I guess. That's kind of cool. You don't have to go through the calm depths. You can just swim straight through there, get to Triton's palace. So I would recommend destroying this. But that's out of the way, so now we've got to go up through this torrent of water and we've got to make our way. We've got to struggle our way all the way up. It does take a bit longer than with the dolphin, but then you don't have to catch the dolphin now, so that's a lot more easy. There we go. So this will lead us to the Sunken Ship, which might be my favourite area here. I really like this bit, because I just like shipwrecks. I find them really fascinating and cool to look at. And just spooky and eerie and just, I don't know, I like water stuff, undersea stuff. And undersea shipwrecks is even better because it's like actual human stuff under there and it's all ruined, and ruins are cool. Ruins are cool. I need to stop saying cool for things. So every video I make is, oh, this is cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, look at that. That's pretty cool. Oh, man. Anyway, back to the point. We've got all these bits strewn around like they've just broken off here. Here we have, of course, the button that Sebastian needs to press, and this will open up the way to get to Ursula's lair. Very random, but it's there. And there's multiple ways into the ship, like we have a hole in the side, and if we actually have a look at the back, there's some designs on the back there if you want to look at those. Or we can go straight through here, and once we're in here, we can actually go down. There's a little secret area down there. I'll show that in a second, though. But here we have where the shark Glut comes and smashes this window in this really nice sequence, and then you have to fight him, of course. It's a very good setup for that mini-boss. You can blow up all these barrels, destroy these, much easier with fire than it is to hit them. And if you do that, you can uncover this little secret bit down in the hull, so that's quite cool. I've already got that though. So here's the shortcut that I mentioned earlier, by the way, so you can come through here, and then you'll hit this thing, and it'll release a stream of bubbles. And if you go up, the chest will fly off. And then you can open a chest and get a reward, and also it's obviously just led you back into here. And once that's done, you just freely move between the two. So you won't have to use the calm depths at all now, but obviously this shortcut isn't the most obvious thing to find. And now let's go into the Den of Tides. And this is a really nice looking volcanic sort of vent area with all these red glowy bits coming up and putting their bubbles up. Twisty stalactites and stalagmites and some steam. I don't know, I just think it's really nice, and it definitely gets the impression that this is like a hotter area basically. On the wall here we can see a little marking that shows the way to Ursula's lair, because that's like the head of the skeleton that she's in, isn't it? But let's just quickly look at the cavern nook on the other way. This is the save point. This is like the last little save point you get in this world. But not much in here. It's basically just the end of the tunnel. Okay, let's go to the tidal abyss. I didn't actually mean to rush straight into here, but okay. We'll destroy these dark balls and then have a proper look. Okay, so we can see the actual shape of this thing, and we can see the abyss below, aptly named. It's definitely disturbing. That's why I included it on my original Creepy Things video, because I just find it kind of ominous. Look at this big old sea serpent, whatever it is, just sort of snaking over here in this giant entrance. And on the other side, of course, makes sense, we're inside the mouth here. Can't quite see the way we came from, but we can see the bottom, and it's just pitch black. They probably didn't think you would look at that, because that's literally just like a black line at the bottom. And yeah, in here we found ourselves in yet another ribcage. I don't know why this keeps happening in this game. First monster and now this. But this is a pretty disturbing place. Like I've said before, we've got the polyps here, or the mermen and mermaids that Ursula has had dealings with. And obviously she's scammed them and they've turned into this. Unfortunately, they don't get saved in this game. They just kind of have to stay like this. That's quite sad. And they got this impression that they're looking at you. They're not. They're just doing this one animation cycle. But it's definitely creepy anyway. And we'll swim into Ursula's lair, the last little piece of this world. Let's blow up the urchin, even though I've already done it, but let's do it again because it's obviously respawned. And a chest will come out of that clam, so that's cool. Otherwise we have this really disgusting looking, like, oh, the webbing here, like the bits of flesh that's still left on the carcass of this thing. Why would you want to live in here? I don't know. Ursula's weird. The bones all up on the top. Oh, hey, Donald's photobombing me this time. But yeah, we have the thing that Ursula's like sleeping in, or she's doing something in there. I don't know what it is, but she's in there at the start. She comes out and jump scares Donald. And her cauldron, of course. A mechanic in the boss fight. You see all the little splashes of water and bubbles on the top there. And here's her vanity station. A mirror that doesn't actually work, but they have actually textured in the things that are directly in front of it to try and make it seem like it is a mirror. So that's quite good of them to do that. The last little bit here is the open ocean area. So we swim across the calm depths here and we get to, well, it's all blocked in by rubble because we've already done the boss. So I'll just get some footage up of the boss and have a look at that area. And yeah, there's not a lot. It's just Ursula, but it's very dramatic, and I like how the water's really swirling around, this big wall of water and the big cloud of smoke at the bottom of her. the darkness that's obviously flowing out. It's not much to look at, but I do quite like the sort of big vast ocean thing we've got going on here. I do kind of wish we could go back into this room without her there, and it's just this big empty room. Kind of like Oogie's Manor, I guess. Maybe if they put one of the special Heartless here in Final Mix, I don't know. I think slight missed opportunities to just let us come back in here and just have this big open ocean. With that said, we are about done with Atlantica. So it's kind of funny that Monstro is before this, because I think there's a similar thing going on in that there's a bit of complex layout. Definitely less so here, this makes a lot more sense. And also there's not tons to look at in terms of details. A lot of it is this sort of bluish rock with obviously some like seaweed and bits like that. But I actually really do like this world. It's quite big, that's quite nice. I like a big world like this. There's a lot to explore, there's secret areas, like that hidden undersea garden area. Shortcuts abound, lots of shortcuts you can open up and make it easier. Chests to find, little things you can swim up and tunnels you can swim around. I think it's quite fun to explore. Mechanics maybe slow it down a bit. It's definitely better when you get Dolphin Kick, like I said. Oh, and I like how when you get the Dolphin Kick, you actually gain the ability to do it in water in other worlds. It makes sense. Sora's learned this new ability. Yes, he doesn't have a tail now, but I think it's still a nice little bit of flavour. The vibe, the ambience, the atmosphere, it's all done very well, especially the volcanic and this area here with the big skeleton or whatever it is. That's very nice. I only wish maybe there was a different piece of music for this area, because Under the Sea feels a bit too chirpy and happy for this part. Imagine if there's some sort of remix of Ursula's music from the film. But I digress. Anyway, this world, I think it's actually quite a good one in this game. Some people might not like it. It's kind of a you either like it or don't, maybe. Or maybe you just kind of want to get through it and just get to other worlds. But while the story can be a bit of a drag to go through, coming back here and actually exploring like this and looking around properly, I really gained a new appreciation for the level design. In terms of making a 3D space that you can swim up and down freely, they couldn't rely on platforming like they do with the other worlds, so they had to do something different, and I think they did it pretty well. Next time we'll be going to Neverland. Obviously that's not going to be a particularly long video, but I'll see you then, and thanks for watching.